All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, back to talk about more Dark Season 2. We are at episode 5. Uh, I'm trying to just do the one a day, and I decided to get it done early because I got a long day of work ahead of me. And I'm even going to try to do this without notes. This episode is called Lost and Found, so full spoilers if you haven't seen this episode. And yeah, I'm still trying to figure out my camera, my new webcam, and my laptop. I was going to include the credits as usual, um, but I can't figure out how to pause this thing. And until I get editing software, which is the next big thing to buy, we're still going to have to deal with kind of the way things are, unless I use my phone. So, and with my phone, I can actually put clips in. It just takes a lot longer to do. And so I'm just going to cut to the chase with this because I think I got almost everybody's names finally right. And I think I can follow this without a script. And it's 6:30 in the morning. What a difference a good night's sleep makes, I guess. I wasn't a great night's sleep, though. I had some crazy dreams. Probably because of what I've been watching lately. Between Too Old to Die Young, Dark, The Handmaid's Tale, Legion, The Terror, uh, all the stuff I've been watching, it's just bleeding into each other. So, Lost and Found. So there's one big through line here, and that's Adam and Jonas. And yeah, so spoilers, again, Adam is Jonas. Jonas is Adam. Uh, it's not surprising. I mean, especially when the character has like this kind of crazy makeup on, that it's going to be somebody that we know. And once you kind of delineate people, like it's definitely a guy who else has been time traveling, it's pretty obvious that it was going to be Jonas. But it was still kind of a shock when it happened. Um, but let's talk about Jonas and Hannah first. Future Jonas and Hannah. So, I mean, he's basically been given a big wake-up call that his mother isn't who he thought she was. But really, are any of our parents? I mean, I used to think that the sun rose and set on my mom. But once I found out who she really was, our relationship never went back to being the way it was. So it's kind of like that loss of innocence. But instead of finding out like in a normal way, he had to find out. He finds out through time travel and going through lots and lots and lots of pain and not even seeing her. And so when he finally finds her, this person that he's supposed to trust, which is again something I can really relate to, um, it's just, he kind of is disgusted by her. Um, we also get a good scene between her and Katerina where, it could turn into a couple of cats fighting in a bag, but it's it's kind of even better than that because Hannah just has to always be faced with the fact that she slept with Katerina's son and her husband. This is like better than Springer. And anybody that doesn't understand that, Jerry Springer is a guy who hosted a television, well, what do you call it, a talk show, if you want to call it that. And it mostly dealt with white trash people fighting each other over who's baby daddy and who's sleeping with who, you know, fathers and daughters and sisters and I don't know, it's all fucked up. So that's kind of what this reminded me of. But then the cop shows up, and okay, so he's new here. Okay, remembering that now. Everybody protects each other, even if they don't like each other, which is kind of interesting. But I mean, it's in Katerina's best interest to keep her mouth shut about Jonas if she ever wants to go back in time to see Mikkel, which is where this is all headed for her. Meanwhile, all the kids. Okay, here's the thing I have a problem with. Katerina tries to talk to Martha and Magnus, and they just conveniently go, "We don't care what you have to say. We don't need, we're gonna do our own thing." A mother would have grabbed her kids, smacked them, and said, "Sit down, shut up. I have to tell you that your brother's back in time, and it would have avoided all this. That's poor writing for this show. It was usual really good writing. I'm not gonna gripe about it too hard. It's just a decision that I feel like none of the Katarina would do. She's already unhinged. What would stop her from talking? Not unhinged, but she's just had this new revelation. Like, I would force my kids to sit down, and I think she's a strong, forceful woman, and I just think that that writing choice was kind of off. And this show usually doesn't have that. So it's just I'm pointing that out. Please don't jump down my throat because the story's still fine without it, but it's still I don't like it when characters act kind of not the way they would. Um, and the kid's reaction is fine. It's just that you're the parent, and I know she would have just she's losing everyone around her. Why would she just let them walk out the door? She wouldn't. She wouldn't. But the kids go off into the woods to talk to Bartosh in the cave, which Bartosh is a real big pussy. Okay, he's just been laying there that whole time. Just been laying there. Give it up. Nobody. He's not even trying to like. He could move his legs, push himself up against the wall, slowly start to get up, and hop his ass out of there. But, but no. No, he's just stayed there prepared to die. Or maybe he's just so spoiled he thought that people would come and find him right away. Probably. It's probably a little column A, column B kind of situation here. But he finally tells them that it's a time machine, which, why did he just tell them that from the first place? Because, I mean, this Noah guy, his control over him is kind of weird because he's Regina's son. I mean, maybe he was thinking that he could stop her from getting cancer or something. Maybe he was using him in that way. Like, oh, we can find a way to get your mom. I don't know. But either way, he takes them back to 1987, where their story crosses paths with Ulrich's from 1987, who does I was going to make a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest reference here, because he kind of looks like the Indian chief in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. No, not chief, but he has, except for like if that guy had never gotten out, like long hair. Well, Ulrich, now that he knows that Mikkel's around, is not going to sit around waiting, and so finds his opportunity, knocks out a guard, sneaks out. Again, 1987. Cameras weren't everywhere. Things were more lax. If you wanted to get out of a nut house, I guess you could. And so he makes it to Mikkel. And it's very heartwarming and touching. And then another thing happens, and it makes me wonder if the nurse, now really has his best interests at heart. And why wouldn't Mikkel fight a little bit harder to stay with his dad? That bothered me. That he just kind of like went right with them. But again, the story is going a certain way, and clearly I don't know. But she's drugging him. And I feel like, I don't know, she's not a villain, but shouldn't she want to look into, maybe that's coming, in a soon episode, but I don't know, wouldn't she want to know who this guy was, why he was doing this? I mean, maybe she thinks he killed those kids, but I would want to know for sure if somebody claiming to be the kid's father, if he really wasn't, or if she's just being selfish now. And overprotective because she found this miracle child that's come from out of nowhere, from the future. But in this, after they arrest Ulrich, he sees his own kids, which would just be, come on. I used to think it was raining shit on Jonas. 34 years in a nut house to finally get out, see your kid, have your kid taken away again by Titleman and, right? Yeah. And so he, again, thinks it's Titleman's fault, when it's really, he's just kind of there. But he didn't do anything to stop it. Again, like people just not doing simple things. It's a little weird to me. But again, the story is driving it a certain way. And so I'm trying to give it some like leeway for sure. I mean, because it doesn't deserve to be derided too hard about it yet. Um, but that would just be maddening. You see your kids like I don't know, man. If I was Ulrich, I'd probably fucking try to kick the cops. Get them to stop the car somehow. But whatever. So now the kids know what's going on, except they didn't know how close they were to their dad. They just know that time travel is possible. Claudia tries to save her dad, Egon Titleman. She goes to see him and tell him, that he should come live with them. But again, it's kind of like this half-assed try. Like if you're really trying to save him, I don't know. And then you have to think, okay, time, well, what if me going there to get him to move in with us is the thing that kills him? And so it's constantly like this no-win situation. Is like, if I do nothing, is that what kills him? If I do something, is that what kills him? So really, it's almost better that you just don't do anything. And that would be the same thing, same result. So it's like, uh, because they know that in the end, it's fruitless to do anything about it. Charlotte meets Noah. So many people trying to crisscross. So I guess Noah is Charlotte's dad, which means he's Elizabeth's grandfather. So maybe that explains something in the future, maybe, but I don't know. Um, and yeah, that's messed up. But we don't know who her mother is, and that's even scarier right now because I guess it would maybe be Agnes, but she was a young little. I don't know. I don't want to know yet. Whoever it is, I'm sure I'll go. But now we might as well just get to, I think, the only part of the episode that we have left. I'm fairly certain. We have the Alexander uh, at the power plant looking into things. And again, it just seems to me like he's just trying to keep power. Him and Regina have, I don't think Regina is, though. I think he is, though. Um, but we have Jonas and Adam. And basically, Adam telling Jonas that they have their own black matter ball that they created, and that there's a loophole, and that if he goes back in time and stops his father from killing himself, nobody has to die except for Jonas. That they would cease to exist because they saved everybody else. If he stops his dad from killing himself, Mikkel doesn't disappear. Ulrich doesn't go after him. Jonas doesn't. And if Mikkel doesn't go back in time, then Jonas is never born, but everybody else gets to live, including Martha. And speaking of Martha and Jonas, okay, so Martha's like an underage character, right? And so seeing her in the character, okay, to even just look, it's just a little. Her character's underage. She's probably 19, 20, 21, who knows, in real life, the actress. But they have her in a sex scene with older Jonas, who's probably in his 30s, 40s. And that was a little off-putting, a little bit, because you're supposed to believe that this character is her age, and so she's having underage sex with an older man in a dream, which, look, I realize the realities of it is in question. Like, oh, does it matter if it's just a dream or she was dreaming it, all that stuff. But it's just still a little weird that they filmed it in the way that they did, because they actually show her nude, and I don't know if we needed that. I really don't. To show that the infection that he's worried about giving her, like this contaminating her, which is another thing that I think is going to come up at some point as well, because I think what we're going to see here, and I'm just spitballing, but that they're going to prevent the apocalypse, but it's going to create a whole other thing, because that's, you stop something from happening, usually there's like a course correction, you create a paradox, that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend that I know everything about time travel. I just know that I've seen a lot of time travel movies and TV shows, and going off of different ways of thinking between all of them, I still say something bad's going to happen. They're going to create a whole new problem. But if there's only one more season after this, hopefully it's a fixable one. But anyway, I think we nailed this. I think we nailed this without a script, but I'm not going to say that I won't go back to using a script when I need it. But, oh, and Elizabeth is the name of the deaf girl. We have a new name in the book, in the brain book. So, anyway, I can't wait to see what happens next. And actually, this was pretty much a big bridge because we've only got now 3 episodes left. So, some shit's gonna go down. So, if you liked this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. I want to tell you, man, you guys have been great. Um, the comments have been fantastic. All the extra information, I would really appreciate it. Anything you guys want to talk about, just put it there. I will respond, you know. And you know, if you are watching these, please subscribe. It really helps us out. Um, you know, at least motivation wise, it shows that people are enjoying these reviews, and that's how you can show it, is by hitting the like button, sharing, and subscribing. It costs you nothing, and it means everything to me. I want everybody to be a part of this channel, and since we're still small, it means even more. So anyway, that's all. This is Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews saying we'll be back tomorrow with episode 6. I can't wait to do it. I hope you guys can't wait to watch it. So this is Rob saying have a great day, and we will see you next time. Bye.